right, behind me is the updated 2024 Acura TLX, and this one specifically is an Acura TLX Type S. I am going to be driving one relatively soon, but before I do that, I'm going to learn about it from the manager of product planning for both Honda and Acura, Jonathon Rivers. Jonathon, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thanks a lot for having me, Robin. I'm really excited to talk about this car. This mid-cycle refresh for TLX is fantastic. There's a lot of updates to the exterior design, the interior design, and technology of the vehicle as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and we will get inside soon because there's some new larger screens to look at, but I know that you guys have your Pentagon grille, but this is now a frameless grille.
Yeah, so that was one of the big changes. Actually, the entire front fascia is a carryover from the previous model, but what we really focused on was the grille itself. So you have a frameless diamond Pentagon grille. Type S has a very specific version of that, which allows for more airflow and cooling for the bigger V6 turbo engine. And also one of the key changes for this 2024 was the Acura logo itself. So on the earlier versions of TLX, there was kind of a shield around that symbol, and that was with the front radar to help for pedestrian detection. Well, we have a new and updated radar for 2024 that allowed us to remove that shield and make it a much more cleaner and sophisticated design.
Yeah, that is nicer because grills and logos these days had become pretty darn bulky, and especially you get these logos that are really in your face, but this is definitely more tasteful.
Yeah, and you might notice above the Acura caliper there, a little camera. So that was a new feature that was added to Type S for 2024. A lot of customers asked for that surround view camera, so that was a new feature, and it's a really high-res camera and display, so we really think people are gonna love that.
And then you guys said there's a couple new colors for 2024 as well.
Yeah, specifically here, this is called Urban Gray Pearl. So this color is available on the A-Spec and the Type S trim. And it's a new color for Acura, and it's got this, kind of bronze pearl in here, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else we should look at in the exterior of the car? I know you talked about new wheel designs.
Yeah, let's maybe go check out the wheels.
All right.
The Type S originally ran on 20-inch wheels, so the wheel size itself didn't change, but it is an all-new wheel design for 2024. So it's a new wheel design in this Berlina black paint, and you get black lug nuts as well. So it looks really awesome. All TLX Type S's now come standard on these high performance all season tires. So that is also a change from before, as there was previously a summer tire available. If a customer still wants that, they can ask it, at the dealership to get that installed. But
oh, it's dealer now.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah, because for me personally, going with a full dedicated summer tire was a real nice part of the Type S.
Sure.
So you can still do that at the dealer.
Yeah.
Okay, but it is this standard 20, and that's ironic. We're talking about a lot of pearl and more matte finishes, but that is a very glossy wheel.
Yes. It is, we went with a very, very aggressive wheel design. Again, the black paint really, tips off with all the other accents on TLX, right? So you had the black front lip, the side mirrors.
That's what I noticed. The side mirror looks awfully glossy as well.
Yeah, and so it just kind of carries this theme, right? And then together with this new urban gray, I mean, for me, I think now this is one of my favorite color combos for the TLX Type S. You'll notice when we hop inside, it has, the red interior too. So very modern, premium design.
Yeah, and that's something that I always notice and like when I'm looking at the designs of cars, is having contrast as you look up and down the car to let certain things stand out, other things blend in. And so having the gloss black with the black window trim and then the black wheels really does help have the sonic gray?
Urban gray.
Urban gray.
Yep.
Stand out even further.
Sure.
All right, but is it everything up? Should we look inside, or is there something to look at in back?
There are, so TLX Type S already look great in the back, those big quad exhaust, that rear deck lid spoiler. So for 2024, there was actually no exterior changes to the rear of Type S. Maybe it's best to hop inside. We can talk about the new tech.
Great. Magic has happened, and we are now inside the TLX. I'm in the passenger seat. Mr. Rivers is in the driver's seat, and you've got some new screens to show us.
Yeah, so that was one of the big changes for 2024, was updating the tech and the connectivity of the TLX across the board. So this is standard features. Doesn't matter if you start with the technology package or all the way up here to Type S. So you do get a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster It's great. It's customizable. You can change the way the gauges themselves look, the information that's displayed here. Just for your viewers, obviously this is a car here at the auto show, so it's hardwired, so it's giving you a bunch of errors. That's normal given the circumstances.
Yeah.
But all things considered, it's a really great display. It really gives a futuristic look to TLX. You get all your ADAS displays and controls right here as well. So one other thing, I'm not sure if you can capture it, is on the TLX Type S, you now get a full color head-up display too.
Head-up displays are always hard to capture, but you can see the box right there, and it's a full color setup. And you say it's over 10 inches now, the display.
Yeah, and it's great because it can display not only your speed, but navigation directions, traffic sign recognition. So there's a lot of information that can actually pop up there as well.
Okay, very good. We also have the center console touchscreen. This is bigger than before. We went from 10 something to now 12.3.
That's right. So 10.2 inch was the previous size. It's now 12.3 inches in size. You still have to operate it via Acura's True Touchpad interface. So you do have this
fun guy right here.
Yeah, you have this trackpad. And again, once you get used to it, right, it's one-to-one positioning, right? So it's kind of looking where you want it to go and placing your finger there on the trackpad. There is new software in here, which makes it super fast and responsive. And an update for 2024 is that you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility.
Yeah, that is definitely nice. And yeah, I remember this touchpad. It was first on the 19 RDX.
That's when it first launched. Yeah.
And the whole point was the absolute positioning kind of functioned more like a smartphone, like an iPhone in particular, I believe. And it did take some getting used to just because it was different from all the other systems, but I spent a few days in the RDX and I absolutely got used to it.
Yeah, and it's nice because once you do get used to it, that's the whole point, is that it becomes a lot easier to operate without actually, taking your eyes off the road and focusing. You can just kind of place your hand where you think it should be.
Yeah, now because this is a Type S, it's top of the line for all the other things as well. Is it unique for it to have heated and ventilated seats? Is that a Type S only thing?
That features comes in on the A-Spec trim, and it's true. So now what's nice is on the seats for the Type S is their 16 way power for both the driver and passenger. So you can adjust the side bolsters, your lumbar, the front lumbar area. So there's a lot of adjustability in the seats, and that kind of carried over from before. So.
And you get a wireless smartphone charger as well, right next to your cup holders.
Yep.
And also, now this is not Type S. This is TLX more generally, I believe, A-Spec. It's quieter inside, and that's not just the using the sound system to cancel out frequencies, but you added more sound deadening in different places and did more with acoustic glass, things like that, to really improve road noise isolation, wind noise isolation in the TLX.
Yeah, that was a big focus for this model year. Again, we listened to our customers; they wanted that, and so yeah, on the A-Spec, like you said, down to the carpets, right? So the actual carpets were adjusted, made thicker. There was more foam and insulation put in. The acoustic glass on the side, as you mentioned, so it's quite noticeable when you drive that car. It helped with wind noise, road noise, and it just make it a quieter cabin. Some of those components carried over to Type S, but admittedly, some things were left off because we really wanted that growl and those kinds of the pops and stuff from the exhaust to still carry through.
Well, there is all respect to the 4-cylinder engine, but the turbocharged V6 in the Type S is a nice noise to listen to, nicer than the standard TLX engine.
It is a big improvement. It's a big upgrade in performance, and obviously with sound, and you got that active exhaust valve and things like that changes, and gets louder with the different drive modes you're in. So you ramp it up to Sport Plus, and it sounds really good.
Well, Jonathan, I really appreciate you taking us through the updates of the TLX. Is there anything else that you want to show us before we leave?
Yeah, I think the last thing we'll say is, again, there was just a couple small additions that, really the current TLX owners are going to notice. There's some additional contrast stitching here on the lower part of the dash.
This red stitching here?
That's a new update. There was always on top.
This has been here, but this part is new.
That's new, and then also this French seam and contrast stitching on the door.
All right, and I'll do it on the passenger side, and let me turn a light on.
Yeah, so you can see that red there across there.
This right here is new.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
in the front and rear doors as well.
Yeah, that's a nice detail. It's always cool to see the updates to cars, and in some ways it's a relief that not too much of the Type S was changed, because the Type S truly drives quite well. A fantastic, certainly the best front-wheel drive based sports sedan I've driven. It is all-wheel drive, but it is foundationally front-wheel drive. And so I'm happy that not that much has changed, but these details are nice, and the new technology looks nice. Bigger screens, it's always bigger.
Yeah.
So, Jonathon Rivers, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you, appreciate it.